Just to be clear, America is sick and tired of your protests crossing the line. That's all you just stop crossing the line. That's all we're asking. It's not that hard.
We gotta cut through the noise.
Well, what line are we talking about here? I'm talking about the line that differentiates between private property and public property. You might have heard this line being referred to as a fence or a gate. We have gated communities here. You can't just waltz in whenever you feel like it. You might have also heard it being referred to as a wall, although it's kind of racist to say that. I don't know if you knew that. It's racist to say the word wall now. Because Trump said it. We can't say that anymore. It's really it's borderline racist. It's really hurtful. We don't say that anymore. Make sure you're subscribed before we get into this. Make sure you have notifications turned on. You don't want to miss next time that somebody breaks the law, and then I get to talk about it. It's fun. So say, for example, you're protesting on the street, on the sidewalk. Don't block people's cars on the street when they're trying to go to work or go home from work or run errands or go to the gym. It's not cool. Nobody likes it. Whose idea was it to block cars in protests? It's not. Stop doing that. Okay? You're on the sidewalk. You got your signs. You've got your chants. You rehearsed them last night on video chat. We're good. You've even got some cheerleaders that are gonna be thrown into the air, flipping all types of ways. You are ready, my friend. You are protesting. But say some members of the protest decide to take your peaceful, law-abiding, constitutional protest and take it into this gated community, this private property. You're going to march up to the mayor's house. You're going to demand that she step down. Heads are going to roll. That's just the way the country works. You make your demands, and then the government delivers. We the people. So if you want to take your protests into private property, let's be clear about this. That's the line that you don't cross. Because once your protest enters into private property, it's no longer a protest. You cannot be referred to as protesters anymore because you're trespassing. It's the same reason people can't come up in my backyard or into my driveway and be like, oh, protest. It's not a protest. You're trespassing. That's against the law. Your protest ceased the moment that you crossed that line between private and public property. We have video footage of this if you don't know what you're looking at here. Protesters decided to go into private property yesterday in St. Louis. They were going to march up to the mayor's house. They were going to demand that she step down, yada, yada, yada. They were met with a show of force. Why, do you ask? Well, because they were breaking the law. They were actually trespassing. And of course, everybody hated them because look at those military-grade assault rifles. Here's video footage of them. This protest going into the community. Don't cross that line. No. We're gonna kill the cops today. That's always good to hear, right?
Alright, y'all see he got a gun and shit. And y'all can see. Y'all see on my live feed live, he got his rifle. Y'all can see.
Get out. How many times can he say it?
As y'all can see. individual does have a rifle.
Got a nice beat going there. Just in case we're clear, you don't have the right to just march up on anywhere. That's not how the government works. You don't get to just march up to the mayor's house while she's eating breakfast and be like, hey, you need to step down because we have signs and we demand. That's not how any of this works. But the world got so angry, especially the world on Twitter. They got so angry. How could these people point these weapons at these peaceful protesters? Well, we've already established the fact that they weren't protesting. They weren't protesting anymore. But some law professors, there's this statute in Missouri, St. Louis, where this took place. I don't blame these homeowners, by the way, because St. Louis is one of the most violent places in the country. It's just statistics. So when a protest decides to enter into your private neighborhood, I might want to show a little bit of show of force as well. But law professors are saying the statement, the Castle Doctrine, is unlikely to be a legal defense for them because they're not allowed to show deadly force unless a person unlawfully enters, remains after unlawfully entering, or attempts to unlawfully enter private property. I'm so confused. And it might be because I'm not a lawyer and I don't know what I'm talking about, but it sounds like they did all of these things. What's your argument here? Are you really going to try and argue that they didn't unlawfully enter? Are you really going to try and argue that they didn't leave after being asked to leave? Let's talk about what's really going on here. Because I think the deeper meaning here is that our society has become so outraged at the sight of firearms. We have this hysterical society in which we see firearms and go, oh, evil, military grade. What does that even mean? What does military grade even mean? You don't know what that means. Stop saying it. Private citizens do not have military grade assault rifles, I guarantee you. Not legally. I think what's really going on here is that we have such a polarized society. Because when everybody saw this, you could tell immediately who's on which side. Everybody flocked to their sides. It's like kickball in high school all over again. Everybody's going to their sides, right? Everybody's going to their arguments, their little groups. People in America have the right to defend their home. They have the right to keep and bear arms, especially after riots and protests and occupied autonomous zones have been ravaging our country for the last 4 weeks at least. And who's to say these homeowners didn't know if these protesters walking up had any type of handguns as well? You don't know what they have. You meet them with a show of force because the gun is the great equalizer. It equalizes the playing field. It doesn't matter if the person you're going against is stronger than you, faster than you, is a different gender than you. It doesn't matter. The gun is the great equalizer. Let me know what your thoughts are down below in the comments. Do you think that this couple had the right to defend their home? And look, I get it. I saw the other videos. I didn't like the way that they were handling the guns. They are obviously not very familiar with them. But they still had the right to use them. One of the things you can do to make yourself more happy right now, this has been proven, if you hit that little subscribe button. Once you tap on the little bell, hit notifications, hit all of them, a box of puppies will show up at your front door. I'm not sure how it happens. I think Amazon's involved somehow. Not a sponsor, but go ahead and try it out.